All right, let's move on to another topic. I don't know if you saw the billion-dollar deal that went down. Vince McMahon bought the WWE like in 1980-something, 83, 82, something like that, for like $1 million. Now he's selling it to the parent company of UFC for 21.4 with a B billion dollars.
That's crazy.
It's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money.
A lot of money.
My generation, when I was a kid, I know we all kind of grew up in the same generation. I loved wrestling. Were you guys on board for the wrestling?
Hell yeah, wrestling.
My brother was a huge fan. I was kind of whatever.
Now, let me ask you a question. Does that mean the UFC is going to be fake now?
What do you mean now?
Who said that? Who said that?
Well, somebody said that they want to try to combine the forces because soon enough you'll be able to gamble on the WWE. You know, gambling is becoming more and more legal with sports.
Sure.
I find it hard to believe that you would bet like who's going to win in the scripted wrestling match. But I guess they're going to have like lines and they're going to have boards that you can bet on. You can bet on wrestling.
That's gonna be a bit out of hand, man. Because wrestling, I don't think you'll win unless you. I mean, you got to
Unless
get
you're on
lucky,
the inside,
lucky, you know. But
the crazy thing
man.
about that is that it seems like that people don't mind betting on things that are predetermined, right? Like the NFL. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, sometimes
but
people
bitch about it in the NFL, but it seems like they really don't give a shit because they're like, if it's predetermined, but at least it's still a show, and I don't know who's going to win, so I'll bet on it.
They say you can be a professional gambler if you can get it right 51% of the time. There are some guys out there that do it. That do it.
They do it.
He said
do it.
You're out of here, buddy. You shit your pants.
I figured we'd go
Sit at this table.
around the horn and see if the UFC is pretty popular right now. I don't know how popular it is with our Outcast, but Ramo, is your top 3 favorite UFC fighters of all time? Can you name 3 UFC fighters?
I absolutely cannot.
Okay, see, this was my game. I wanted to see how popular. I know the UFC getting great ratings, surpassed boxing. It's like the new big sporting event for the younger generation.
Sure, I understand that.
Tomcat, who's your top 3 UFC fighters of all time?
Well, the man who started it all, Hoist Gracie.
Okay, 1.
And then definitely, I always liked Tank Abbott. That's one of the original badasses.
Never
and then I'm
heard
going to
of him.
bring somebody in from the new school and go with Ken Shamrock. He's a badass, too.
Well, he was a professional wrestler before he was a UFC fighter. And he's not really new school, is he?
He's newer than those other guys. They were in the original. Those guys were in the original episode. If you go back and watch UFC like 1 through 7, they were eye gouging and fucking bitches were getting hit. They hit this big sumo guy and he just stretched out. Was like, brew. He never moved again. Both of his feet and his arms went out like this. It was like there were no rules. They put you in there and they just beat the ever living crap out of each other on like 1 through 7. Then they started developing rules in the octagon. Go back and watch those first 7.
Now,
You'll be like,
Memphis.
You know what? I do have one. I'm lying.
Okay, go ahead.
Local dude, Nico Price.
Yep.
That's
Yeah,
my guy,
he's
man.
a UFC fighter.
Yeah, that's my guy, dude.
And then Memphis, do you have a top 3 UFC fighters?
No. I mean, I know a few. Like I went to school with Ovens at Tennessee.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I know him real well. We went to school together. Obviously, what's that boy? The loudmouth white boy.
Conor McGregor.
Conor McGregor, just because he fought
He's fun.
Floyd.
He was good. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I
Irish
remember
guy,
him.
good Irish guy.
And then
Who kicked his ass?
Nate Diaz did a couple times.
Okay.
and then Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, Ronda
She was
Rousey.
fun.
Ronda Rousey.
Her.
Mm.
Now, what about WWF, WWE wrestlers? Who are your top 3, Ramo? Do you have 3 wrestlers that you like?
Let's see. Not current. I don't even know any of the current people if that even still exists. But I would have to say of all time, classic. Hillbilly Jim
Ooh.
was one of my favorite.
Oh, Hillbilly Jim.
Jim.
George
Yeah.
the Animal Steel was one of
Yeah.
my
That's a good
favorites.
one.
To bite the turnbuckle.
yeah, and had the green tongue.
Yeah. And let's see. I was a big fan of Jimmy Superfly Snuka.
Oh,
That's a
off,
great one.
off the top rope.
Yeah.
He's always running around without his shoes on.
What about you, Memphis? Do you have a top 3 all-time wrestlers?
The Rock.
Okay.
The Rock.
Yeah, he's a big one. Yeah.
Rock and Stone Cold, just because they talk so much shit.
They had
And
a
they
good
could back it
rivalry between the
And
two. I recommend going and watching them fight at the grocery store. That was a big one.
Oh, him and Booker T.
Oh, was that?
Yeah, it was the Steve
That's
Stone
right.
Cold
That's
and Booker
Stone Cold
T.
and Booker T. Yep.
That one is classic, man. They did too. They fought in the grocery store. Then they also fought in the church in a bingo hall. That shit was
that Vince McMahon.
phenomenal.
That's a great idea.
But my third one is a tie between Sting. The
Sting.
Ultimate Warrior and the Undertaker.
You know what we should do? We should pitch to one of the wrestling places to have a match at Thanksgiving dinner.
What are you talking about?
A match. Like you said, they have them at different venues.
Yeah.
Have it at a Thanksgiving dinner. Because, it's like.
Have a wrestling match.
Yes.
And they like
families fight.
They fall into somebody's house.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool. I watched that. I mean, they just
had
WrestleMania was just this weekend. So.
Was it? Oh,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, one name nobody mentioned.
I didn't get to take mine.
Oh, I was skipping over you.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Jake the Snake, Hulk Hogan.
Okay, there it is. Somebody did mention the Hulkster. I forgot to ask you, Tomcat.
Those are literally my three favorite from when I was a kid when it was WWF.
Who is it again? You went so fast. Who are your three?
Jake the Snake.
Jake the Snake.
Because I loved snakes when I was a kid, so I liked him because he'd bring the snake out every time. And then Hulk Hogan. If I had to remember from when I was a kid and I really loved wrestling, those were the guys I liked.
You know what I liked about Jake
WrestleMania
was like when he when his finishing
Andre the Giant.
What was his finishing move when he beat you?
DDT.
Yeah.
It was the
and then
DDT.
he would lay on you like a snake.
No, he put the snake on you.
That's right.
I loved that when I was a kid.
And wasn't he the one that had that really cute girlfriend or something that used to come on?
Oh, that was Macho Man.
That was Macho Man.
I know he did too.
No, Jake. You're right. Jake Snake did. His manager, I forget her name.
Let me tell you something.
But she wasn't Elizabeth,
Macho Man is my other favorite.
Yeah.
He's
in
so good.
Tampa.
Oh yeah, he's the best when he does
passed,
that.
Though. He
did.
The Slim Jims.
He liked the.
Oh man, I love Macho Man. That's
Step into a Slim Jim. Oh yeah,
those are pretty good.
Wrestling.
You don't like Slim Jims?
No, I love Slim Jims. That was a terrible impression of.
Slim Jims.
There you go. Your YouTuber. They're your impression for the day.
Yeah, there you go. See, good job.
So there, my science project was the hypothesis that I had anticipated, which was our guys are going to know much more about the WWE and discuss fake wrestling than the real fighting in the UFC. Our generation is, I guess, not embraced the UFC.
I will not watch wrestling at all. Like if it comes on, not even for 5 seconds. I can't do it. It's stupid.
It's not the same. It's not the same like it used to be.
And I don't mean any disrespect. I guess that was kind of bad. But I feel like
it's
it
terrible.
Is because it's not real.
Fix
even
that
though
shit.
smashing yourself onto a board or a table is actually really real. I just, you know. If they're going to get in there and really wrestle and we don't know who's going to win. Look, they broke my heart after the WWF. When I was a kid and I found out it wasn't real. Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Only if they wear those tights with the,
I thought it was real.
But it is real.
It's not real.
There's a lot of real that goes into it. You know, the two guys are doing.
But they know who's going to win. And that was hard for me when I was a little kid.
But they don't know exactly what's going to take place out there. It's kind of like an organic thing.
Oh, okay. I like that.
I think there are some scripted moments, but I think that you're just kind of working. You're flowing off each other.
So maybe it is a real fight?
I mean, it's a ballet. You know what? I would say it's physical ballet, but these guys are really taking bumps, and they're really getting hit at times.
It's called a faff.
Right. Well, yeah, it's like
fake as fuck.
I mean, it's real. Like when the Undertaker threw Mankind off the top of the cage onto a table.
Didn't somebody die?
That was definitely real.
What I do know is somebody just got hurt recently, and their neck got hurt, like in one of these.
Oh, I mean, you get hurt playing football,
he got hurt
basketball,
really in one of these.
Yeah, but
Owen Hart got killed.
He fell from the very top.
Right.
I remember that.
That wasn't supposed to happen, though.
Nah.
War was it?
Another inside the world of wrestling that I found out as a young kid. You know, my dad, BJ the DJ, was a ring announcer for wrestling.
Was he?
And so when I was a kid, I
love your pops, man. He's so cool.
I'd be at these wrestling events as a little kid, and they called it juicing. I was like, juicing? What's juicing? These guys, you know, they would wear the tape around their wrists. Mm-hmm. Under the tape, they would put a razor blade. And when one of the guys would punch them, they would call it juicing, and they just pull that razor blade out of the corner of their arm on their wrist, and then they would slice their foreheads with a razor blade, and that's when you've seen the scenes in WWE
That's like Dusty
where
Rose
the blood.
Dusty Rose was big.
That sounds like
And
he was
Ric Flair too.
dangerous as fuck. It's right by your eye.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that
Oh,
shit.
yeah. The wrestling world. I mean, you should watch. I have something highly recommended. You should
too
watch.
much for me right there.
Because you were sweating.
That's too much for me right there.
And what if you got somebody else sweating there? You know?
I would have a little
Gross.
fake ketchup packet. I'd be
Infected.
like, ketchup. Sorry, guys, ketchup. Sorry.
He's so fired.
There's a series I recommend everybody go and watch, and you can find out more about the lives of wrestlers. They all die at a young age, and there's a reason why.
Because they kicked their own ass.
A Dark Side of the Ring. I mean, there's
that
some
thing on Vice, right?
yeah,
They
on
drink
Vice.
too a lot.
It's
They
called
have a lot of problems. Like,
pills. They're popping steroids. I mean, you name it. These wrestlers are involved in it. And you want to talk about a rock star lifestyle? These guys are on the road. They do a show in this little podunk town, and then it's pack up the ring, pack up the ass whipping, pack up the painkillers, and on to the next city, so that we
That's
can
true.
kick each other's ass and put on a show. It's like rock and roll. These wrestlers. They
And
live
who's
like
the
a-
biggest rock? But who's the biggest of them all? Who did the best though?
Who did the best?
Like,
what?
Like I would
The
say,
Rock, I'd say.
I would say, or I mean,
The
like
Rock,
like
yeah.
during that time, like during our time.
John Cena.
You talking about the guys that
Like,
are on
who-
top?
Like who was the guy who had like the best? Like who was the
Career?
one? Who, the
Well,
part-
Hulk
the
Hogan.
partier?
Hulk Hogan had it go.
Oh,
I mean, as far as partying, goes.
I would go
yeah.
Ric Flair.
Ric Flair. Yeah, I've heard
I
some
would go Ric
stories
Flair.
of Ric Flair. Dark Side of the Ring. There's a story that he has a helicopter move that he does with his penis, and he did it on a plane. You should watch Dark Side of the Ring.
So it's a helicopter move on a plane.
Yeah,
Now
with
that
his
is some
penis.
3D
Classic.
chest.